Howdy, folks. I'm Mimi, the mini meerkat.
I'm Amber.
And here's some Reddit. Or more meerkats. Tinier, smaller meerkats, nested meerkats. Alright, folks. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for ordering the pizza my husband said he wanted? I have a few cousins and friends visiting from out of state. We all grew up together, and it's the first time I've seen them since before COVID. So they also met my husband for the first time. We had a courthouse ceremony. We were talking about ordering pizza and having a few drinks together, and I was getting our orders together. I love pesto, ricotta, mushroom, spinach, olive, artichokes on a flat bread crust. My husband Rick is a deep dish meat lovers kind of guy, to the core. So I asked Rick if he wants the usual. He made a face, and then he said no. Meat lovers disgusts him, and I know that, and how much he loves the pizza that I like. I was confused, and I reminded Rick that he said countless times that he hates my favorite pizza, and that's why we always have to order two. Rick continued to insist that I was wrong. He looked at my cousins and my friends and asked, has she always been this scatterbrained? I swear, if her head wasn't attached to her neck, then she would be walking around without it. I'm definitely known as the forgetful, clumsy one in the group. This is also when it dawned on me that Rick is trying to be funny by making me look ditzy and forgetful. I didn't feel like dealing with it, so I played along and I'm like, oh my goodness, baby, you're so right. I forgot. You know how I can be. Of course I remember. I'm sorry, sweetie. Let me get that for you. Rick laughed and was like, yep, that's my wife. Gotta love her, but it's a miracle she remembers her own name. I put in the orders, and when they got here, Rick is looking for his. I hand him a small box that he has an identical pizza to mine. He pulls me aside and asks, what in the world is this? I told him that it's his pizza, just as he told everyone he loves it. Rick looked at it with an expression of sheer disgust and asked where his meat lover's pizza was. I told him that since he said that he didn't want that and how he wanted this one, I made sure to order it. Rick got huffy and complained that he can't eat that pizza. It's gross, and thought I would order him a meat lover's either way because I know it's his favorite and he's just playing around earlier. I told him that I'm absolutely not ordering anything else since pizza place was closing down soon, and if he wanted a different meal, he was going to have to figure it out himself. But he got what he asked for, so he can explain why he's refusing to eat. Rick said that it was unfair to put him in that position, made an excuse to my cousins and friends about having a stomachache, and needed to get up early and went to bed. We all wound down about an hour or so later, and I got ready for bed. Rick was still awake and asked if there was anything for him to eat, and I reminded him that he has pizza in the fridge. He rolled over and went to sleep, but he's upset with me today, saying that I forced him to go to bed hungry last night. Aw, poor Rick. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. This is not... a joke is only funny if everyone enjoys it. Like, he's making you the butt of this joke for no reason. And you gave him precisely what he asked for. Like, my only regret for you, OP, is that you didn't call him out in front of everyone and be like, what do you mean this isn't the pizza you wanted? I thought you said you loved it. Here.
Yeah. Well, here's the world's smallest pizza playing the world's saddest song. I know pizzas don't play music, but they're the new hot craze of musical instruments. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Rick was expecting here. He got exactly what he wanted, and OP ordered it for him because he made a big deal about wanting this. So if he didn't want this to backfire on him, like... what did he think was going to happen?
Right, well, I think what he was expecting was for her to buy him the meat lovers, and then he could harass her in front of her friends some more and be like, how could you buy me meat lovers? I guess I just have to eat this.
Yeah, I don't really understand what his whole game was, and it's pretty ridiculous that he was playing this with her, but OP didn't do themselves too much of a favor in the respect that now their friends still have the impression that they're scatterbrained. So I think that he really should have been called out for his bad behavior on some level, because really, at the end of the day, no one really won here. in some ways.
Well, I mean, I think OP can, hopefully still explain to their friends that he's not a very good person right now because what he's doing is not okay.
No.
And I think just pointing out that the pizza is still sitting in the fridge and he hasn't touched it, like, hopefully will point out to them, like, and honestly, like, look at your relationship. Are there other times he does this sort of thing? Is he constantly trying to play up your scatterbrainedness? Because that could be a bad sign.
Yeah, well, it could certainly be a bad sign. And then also, him complaining about going to bed hungry, he's got two hands. He can go make himself a sandwich. He chose to go to bed hungry.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, it's not your fault, OP. Not at all. So, anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Drinking Some of My Boyfriend's Chocolate Milk? So this problem started a couple of weeks ago. I'm a 25-year-old female, boyfriend, a 21-year-old male, tends to bring a glass of chocolate milk to bed with us every night. At first, I joked with him that I thought that was just dumb and childish. What adult still drinks chocolate milk? Well, he didn't seem to like the joke very much and sort of just got quiet when I said it. I told him that he was being too sensitive, but he didn't respond. I kept bringing it up with him every night to get him to cut it out, but he just says that he enjoys it and it helps him sleep. This was a constant issue until one night he offered me a sip, and I liked it so much that I finished the glass. I'm too embarrassed to pour a glass for myself, but I do usually end up drinking his. He tells me that I should grow up and pour a drink for myself and stop drinking all of his chocolate milk. But I say that if he's having some, then it's only fair for him to share. Well, last night he told me that I can either admit that I like the chocolate milk and pour myself a glass or stop drinking his. He said that he won't put up with my constantly drinking all of it. I only drink like half of his chocolate milk after making fun of him for getting some in the first place. Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yeah, OP, you're being a jerk here. Admit that you are wrong.
You know what? I don't think OP wrote this. I think this is her boyfriend who wrote this. I mean, that's the only way that makes any sense. The way it's kind of written, it almost sounds like he's ragging on her for drinking all of his milk. So I'm assuming that she's not the one who wrote this, that it's he who wrote it.
I mean, I'm just going to go with the way it's written. I'm assuming OP is the one who wrote it. And yeah, I mean, it's not cool to make fun of people for the things that they like, as long as it's not harmful. He wasn't hurting anyone by having a glass of chocolate milk before bed.
Yeah, but that is an awful lot of sugar to drink right before bed, and so there might be some better alternatives to look into with this. I understand that he likes it, but really, drinking a lot of sugar right before bed can't be good for you. I don't know. Maybe that's just my mom voice coming through. So, I mean, I certainly don't think I don't think he's in the wrong here, right? He can enjoy what he wants, and if this is what he likes, I'm not saying that he can't do that. But also, I think that really, she just needs to go ahead and pour herself her own glass of milk if she really wants this.
And apologize for saying these hurtful things, because it was uncalled for, and, reevaluate why you needed to tear him down to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's a really important question, is what is OP getting out of this to tear down her boyfriend about drinking chocolate milk, other than just to rag on him? And maybe she's doing this in a way that she feels is just kind of like a fun little gentle ribbing, but if he really feels this sensitive about it, then OP needs to cut it out, right? So you don't rib on people's sensitivity points, right? So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, our next letter is titled, How do I, a 22-year-old female, get over someone, a 25-year-old male, who strung me along? And this was submitted by the OP in this, so we'll go ahead and read it and give some advice on here. I'm a 22-year-old female, and I've been seeing someone, a 25-year-old male, for about 3 months now, and it's just been called off. We had been acting similar to a girlfriend-boyfriend couple, dates, staying the night, calls, etc. Basically the whole time. At one point, I told him that I had feelings for him and wanted a relationship. He shared those sentiments. We didn't start a relationship then and hadn't talked about exclusivity. So a couple of weeks later, when I found out that he was still seeing other girls, I expressed how hurt I was. I wanted to call it off then, but he convinced me to talk it out. We agreed to be exclusive, and I talked all about what would be needed in a relationship to make us both feel secure. And he kept saying we could talk about being in a relationship. He also said bluntly, I want a relationship with you. So after another date today, he asked if I want to stay at his apartment. I then told him that I didn't want to stay the night at this point in time since my feelings are clearly involved and that it might make it worse if we aren't in a relationship and he's still uncertain. At this point, he told me that he was scared of being hurt in another relationship and didn't want one, but that he wanted one with me. He also wouldn't tell me any steps that we could take or any timeline for me to mentally be in the right space. I even asked if there was anything specific I did to make him feel this way or anything I could do to make him feel more secure. Nothing. So he reluctantly called it off. I removed his contacts, but haven't blocked him yet. How do I get over him when I feel like this could have worked out if only I had tried harder or communicated differently? If I did all that I thought I could, how do I stop feeling like it wasn't enough? All right, folks, what do you think about this one?
I mean, I think, OP, this is definitely a him problem, not a you problem. You had made your expectations very clear and he couldn't meet them. And I think calling things off was the right course of action.
Yeah, I think that calling things off was the right course of action. And I honestly don't get warm fuzzies about how he's kind of dancing around this. Mm-hmm. It seems like he wants to have the benefits of a relationship without committing to a relationship.
He wants his cake and to eat it too type of situation is what, yeah, I definitely get those vibes from it.
You did what you needed to do. You told him your expectations. You two were pretty serious. You told him that you were hurt when he was seeing other people, and he made his decision. He chose to not see you because I think, honestly, he's trying to leverage his hand here. He's trying to get you to come back to him so that he can still have his cake and eat it too and string you along some more. I mean, I just feel like I don't know anything about him, and maybe this is just some bad assumptions on my part, but I really feel from what you've said here that he really just has no intention. He's just telling you what he thinks you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's definitely kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. And as what you can do to move on, like, that's always a tough question. You know, how do you move on from any relationship? I mean, I think, you know, maybe it's a little cliche to say, but like, focus on the things that you enjoy right now. You know, try and not necessarily focus on a relationship right now. Focus on being your best self, on the things that bring you joy, you know, your hobbies, your interests, and just take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are all really important things. And, you know, it's never easy to get over a relationship. And honestly, the best way to get over a relationship is time. And that's kind of that's the unfortunate bit of it, is that it just, sometimes you need time. And don't dwell on what you could have done differently, because oftentimes there's really, in a case like this, I don't know that there was anything that you could have done differently.
Well, and I think the risk is, like, if you kept going in this direction with him, he's just going to keep stringing you along longer and longer, and those feelings are going to get stronger, and you're going to get hurt more and more. So I think breaking things off now, it may hurt, but it's going to hurt way less than if he carried this on for like another year or so. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I think just take care of yourself, Opie. Focus on you, and good luck in the future.
Yeah, so anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got a joke.
Where did the music teacher leave his keys?
Well, on his piano, of course. Yeah. Where else would he have left his keys, Amber? He's a music teacher. And that's why all of his piano keys are all scratched up, is because that's the only place he puts them. And I've got licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for watching. Happy, I don't know, what is it, Tuesday? Oh, it's Tuesday, spelled with a TWO. Amber, I need some moral guidance, and I would really, really appreciate it if it involved a muskrat.
I thought you were a meerkat
I am a
earlier,
meerkat.
but you wanted to involve a muskrat.
Yes.
You know, OP in the first story, if your husband tries to pull a stunt like this again, maybe a good course of action would be to get that meat lover's pizza, you know, show him it, and then go outside and share it with your friendly neighborhood muskrat. I don't know if muskrats eat pizza, but you know, maybe they do.
Yes, your friendly neighborhood one of those like 80s puppets type muskrats. That's what we'll say. It's like one of the pizza parlor ones.
Yes.
So it's like Chuck E. Cheese, a knockoff of Chuck E. Cheese. That's the muskrat you're going to feed this pizza to. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.